Hey, poker peeps. My name is Sky with Smart Poker Study, and in this video, I'm going to go over one of the action steps from my newest book, Post-Flop Online Poker. The book is available in all formats. All you got to do to get it is go to smartpokerstudy.com/postfloponlinepoker. That's just one word, Post-Flop Online Poker. Now, throughout the book at the end of each chapter, there's between 3 and 5 different action steps, with a total of 55 action steps in the book. What you can see on the screen in front of you is one of the action steps at the end of the Bread and Butter Cbets chapter. So in this chapter, I talk about getting the most out of your in-position Cbets. And so this is the very first action step, and it's a study with purpose. That means this is one that you're going to spend a little bit of time off the felt doing. And let's go over it right here. Study with purpose, review 50 losing in-position Cbets. Filter in your database for soft flop in position, made the Cbet, and then lost the hand. So let me show you what that flop looks like. You can see we got PokerTracker 4, my own little database here. You're going to go to first, hand details, player position. On the flop, you are in position. And let's add what you do on the flop. Well, on the flop, you made your Cbet. And then ultimately, in the end, what we want you to do is review 50 losing hands. So maybe you C-bet and then lost the hand, you folded at some point later in the hand, you bet, folded to a raise, whatever it might be. You're going to go to hand details, one loss, player lost the hand. So you can see in position on the flop, C-bet, lost the hand. And of course, don't be alarmed when you see all big negative numbers here because you filtered for losing the hand, right? Whether you lost the hand after calling the river, folding on the river, betting and folding on the turn, betting and folding on the flop, whatever it is, you're in position, C-bet, lost the hand. So what I want you to do is review your 10 biggest losing hands by position right here. So, and because you're in position, you can't really review any from the small blind, right? That's always out of position. So you're going to review the 10 biggest ones. I guess if you're playing heads up games, you got them right there, right? But what you're going to do is sort it by the currency one. So the biggest up top, down below, you're going to review all 10 of those. Maybe today you're going to review all 10 on the button, tomorrow the cutoff, the next day middle position. Now, as you're reviewing the hands, you're going to ask and answer these questions to help you review the hands, to help you look at the hands from different perspectives. So let's start off on the button. Let's take a look at this tagged hand I got here. So you can see we got pocket jacks. Now, these are some of the questions. Now, the book, I teach you how to ask and answer different questions to force you to think about the different hands from all various aspects. Bet sizing aspects, positional, your range, your opponent's range, whether you're going for value, bluffing, whatever it is. Lots of different questions to ask and answer yourself to force you to think about the hands. Cool. So you open and raised right here. And a fold, and then Wild Boar decided to call at this point. Great. So, like some of the questions, are you ignoring their player type and tendencies and just C-betting based on your hand strength? Well, I got that under pair of jacks, right? If he doesn't have a queen, maybe I'm just C-betting without thinking, just making the C-bet as always. But what you should do is think about their player type. Think about the kind of actions they could take. Do you C-bet 100% of the time in this spot? Well, it's kind of a wet board. A couple of hearts, straight draws are possible. Open-ender if he has a 10-jack. Should I be C-betting 100%? Should I be checking some of my strongest hands? If I had ace queen here, should I check? What if I had pocket aces? Am I C-betting every time? Do you tailor your bet size to achieve your goals? Well, 4 big blinds in a 6.5 big blind pot, roughly 2/3 pot. That's kind of my standard right here. I think he can give me value with a couple of hearts at this point. He could also call with a hand that beats me like a queen. But this kind of player, look how loose aggressive he is. Doesn't like to fold on the flop all that often. He's probably giving me value with a 9 as well. He might even be able to call with ace 10, 1 over card plus kind of a gut shot, backdoor kind of straight draw thing, right? Lots of different things he could be giving me value with right here. And I'm generally betting 2/3 pot with my entire range. Do you consider how their range interacts with the board? Yes, you should. Oftentimes, though, you're going to be C-betting and you're not thinking about their range. You're not thinking about the hands that they could fold to award you the pot right now, or the hands they can call to give you value with. But, you know, I know this player has a really wide range. Even though my jacks is an underpair, I am getting value out of a lot of stuff. He could even be folding pocket 4s and 5s right here, which even have a little bit of equity against me as well. And that's not the end of the world, getting those weaker hands to fold. Even some ace highs are folding too, but lots of stuff he's calling for draws giving me value. The deuce hits doesn't change the board at all, right? Do you fail to plan for the future? So before I made that flop Cbet, well, I should have thought, what cards on the turn can I double barrel? What cards should I double barrel? What cards should I be aware of and not double barrel, right? So maybe with with so many straight draws possible, maybe I should be kind of watch out for any 10, maybe an 8, maybe a king as well on the next, maybe even ace as well I should be leery of. And a heart, well, if he gets aggressive on another heart, even though I have a heart blocker, it's possible he could have a flush when that heart hits already. So there's some turn cards I don't like. But that deuce, it's not that bad of a turn card. Doesn't scare me, doesn't scare him. He could probably give me value with a couple of hearts once again. He checks. Oh, so I value bet roughly 2/3 pot again, expecting a couple of hearts, maybe even that straight draw. King Jack could call right here. King 10 could call as well from such a loose, aggressive player. And he calls. Okay, cool beans. Ooh, that 4 of hearts hits. Flush draws aren't a super big part of his range, but that does complete some of the draws right now. If he does have a queen like queen 10, queen 8, he could have just called and slow played on 2 different streets without raising. There's plenty of stuff that's ahead of me now. What could call, if I do choose a Cbet, what could give me value on 3 streets with 3 hearts out there and on a paired board? Not much. I mean, is a 9 going to call a 3rd street? Maybe not. He folds 65% of the time. I think if I bet right now, I'm probably only getting called or potentially raised by better hands. He's probably folding any 9 right now to a 3rd barrel, especially a 3rd barrel like a 2/3 pot. If I decide to go to 22 big blinds here, yeah, he's folding those. So I just checked behind, which I'm fine with this play right now. And then he shows, the 10-5. So he defended with a 10-5 suited, called 2/3 pot on the flop and turn. A little bit expensive bets to be calling right there. So he overpaid, but he got there on the river. But a good thing that I didn't bet. I just checked behind and saved myself some value on that river. So I like the play. I didn't make any mistakes, but occasionally you're going to go through hands and you're going to find that you made a mistake. So you're going to want to record your mistakes and review them as your pre-session warm-ups. If there's a c-betting mistake that you're constantly making, maybe every time you bluff, you c-bet at half pot, but value is 2/3 or 3/4 pot, that's a pretty big mistake. Your intuitive or opponents that are paying attention, they're going to pick up on that. And when you make that half pot bet, they're going to see that you're bluffing. They're going to come over the top and pounce on it, right? So any mistakes that you're making, you want to look at those during your pre-session warm-up to help you not to make those mistakes any longer. Let's go ahead and review one more hand right here. Let's look at a cutoff hand. Pocket 6s, nice. So open raise, like the play right there. Can't not open raise. I'm not going to fold, and I'm definitely not going to limp, right? So we get a 36/14, kind of a loose passive player. Calling, so we're in position at least. That's good. Remember, we filter for in position hands. Now a deuce 3 jack, I wouldn't mind at all just betting. If he has an ace, a king, a queen, a 10 right here, at least I'm getting those to fold out, which have some equity against me. I don't have to worry about the turn. He also folds 75% of the time, so I can expect him to fold all of those hands that didn't hit any kind of draw or anything. I expect him to fold a lot. Once again, 4 big blind, roughly 2/3 pot. And then, holy stromboli, he raised 4.5 times. Wow. So what is a loose passive player who generally folds versus c-bets? What are they check raising 4.5x with? Probably a set, right? So he's got a set of deuces or a set of 3s here, most likely. This guy's, to me, he's basically playing his hand face up. If he wanted to just, he could be bluffing us with a flush draw, but so be it. We only have a pair of 6s. If somebody bluffs us off our hand occasionally, that's fine. But generally, it's a large bet. I'm not just betting 1/3 pot or just half pot. This is 2/3 pot. This is a larger bet, larger than your standard half pot. And that's a larger check raise than usual. All signs point that he's got me crushed, so I make the fold. Now, if I had called right there and we get to showdown and we end up seeing pocket deuces, it's a pretty obvious play with a set right here. That would be one of those mistakes I would make, and then I would work in my next sessions while I'm thinking about c-betting in position. I would really work to not make those mistakes. I would be paying attention to my opponent's check raise sizing. Look at their player type. You could see in general, he's a passive player in general who folds a lot on the flop. He's doing something that totally contradicts his normal tendencies. He's normally passive, but he's aggressive right now. He normally folds on the flop, but he's staying in with a check raise. He loves his hand, right? Easy fold at this point. So this is the kind of thing you can expect when you pick up post-flop online poker. At the end of every chapter is study with purpose action steps and then play with purpose action steps as well to force you to practice the strategies that you just learned in that chapter. All right, thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate your eyeballs. And if you subscribe to the channel below, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up to you for sure. And if you want to pick up this book, Post-Flop Online Poker, my newest book, I highly recommend it. It's my own book after all, right? But please go to there's a link in the description down below, or just go to smartpokerstudy.com/postfloponlinepoker to check out all the different formats that the book's available in. All right, thanks again, and I'll see you next time.